wanted to ask, did you start work on Hydration right after the last album?
Yeah, even before.
And how long did it take to put the material together as well as far as laying it down in the tracks down?
Yeah, we've been working 2 years. Yeah, we've been working 2 years since the last album. But some of the songs are older than that, and Daniel and I rewrote the lyrics to the most of them, and we changed a lot.
And we've got to talk about the album cover, because I remember last time we spoke, we talked about your passion for being on the water.
Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to ask you, is the boat on the cover a representation of one of the boats that you own?
Yeah, yeah. It's strange, but the guy who did the first album's cover, what's his name, in Montreal, Canada, he picked the same boat as the one. I thought he had looked at my Facebook, but he hadn't. So he chose the right
That
one.
is
An American boat, Mariah from South Carolina.
And I wanted to ask you about my favorite track, which is Out in the Cold. I wanted to ask if you could speak on it lyrically.
What did you say?
Out in the Cold is my favorite track on the album. I wanted to ask you if you could speak on that track lyrically.
Yeah, it's an old song. I can't. it it was the first song for Andreas Novak, if you heard of him.
Yes.
Yeah, that was his first vocal live song. He sang with Hydra long ago, maybe 1994. So yeah, it's a story about my old crashed love relation.
And of course, we have to talk about the single "We Belong." How did that track come to you?
I'm not. I can't remember really. 95.
95. Wow.
Yeah, I wrote it, and it was a ballad.
Wow. So, it's a great intro track to the album.
Yeah, thanks. And now we're releasing Marionette, a second single.
Very good. Will there be a video for it?
It's a lyric video.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask you, as far as your plans in the future, what are you looking forward to doing next? I know when last we spoke, you had quite a few songs that had been written and that haven't been put out. And I wanted to know, will you keep on that trend?
Yeah, sure. Already got enough songs for the third album with Hydra. And I'm working with two other artists singing Swedish.
Very good.
Both working with Daniel Flores and my band.
And
Daniel's,
How do you feel about the lineup now?
they are great. They are great.
Do you feel that Hydra is as strong as it's ever been?
Yeah, sure.
And as far as your writing process, have you found that over time that your writing process has changed in any way?
I'm still I'm still working the same way as I used to.
And your unique style and approach to melodic rock is very separates Hydra from many other bands in the same genre. I wanted to ask you, what were some bands that influenced your style?
It's obviously it's Toto and Chicago 16, 17, 18, and also love Christoph Cross still.
Mm-hmm.
It's only American influences.
And I believe when we talked about boating, you had mentioned your passion for it. Do you have any other passions that you enjoy in your free time?
Yeah. I've been doing all different kinds. Football, the soccer as you call it,
Mhm.
is a great thing for me. Unlike other musicians,
And
they love soccer.
oh yes, indeed. I always thought that if we put a whole group of metal people together to play soccer, we make one heck of a team.
Yeah, sure.
As far as putting down tracks in the studio, what do you feel was the hardest track for you to get right in the studio?
On this new album,
Yes.
yeah, I gotta check. Yeah. Well, we had a good cooperation during the whole process. Mainly me and Daniel and Andy, and vad fan heter yeah, with our different approaches to the songs.
Mm-hmm.
But it was difficult. No, it wasn't difficult. We we uh, we really function
Mm-hmm.
together.
And
I
that's
they are skilled like hell.
and that makes for a great environment, and a great working environment. I
Yeah,
think that's one of the things that rings true, as we spoke before in our earlier interview. Um, I always feel when I listen to your music that everyone is working well as a unit, and there's like a chemistry amongst you that holds it all together.
yeah, yeah. We're still the best friends and talk a lot.
And
We hope to start working with a new album in November.
wow, so there's no putting the brakes on. That's great. That's great to hear because I see, just in comparing the last release we spoke of and this one, the progression is very great, and I love this album from top to bottom. You had me hooked with "We Belong," and you kept me there.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm quite happy, and Daniel actually said that this is the best AOR album ever made.
It is an amazing album, and it keeps you engaged. So many times, some melodic metal bands, you listen to them and you feel like you're hearing cookie cutter songs, and Hydra gives you experience that takes you to new levels and to new visions and keeps you interested throughout. The flow on the album is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm allergic to bad songwriting, so I put a lot of effort in there. And Daniel and Andy taught me how to do it a bit heavier. So we're not, I mean, a lot of those songs on the new album were ballads in the beginning.
Wow.
So that's a real process.
And as far as the structure of the album and the track order, um, as I said, that's one of my favorite parts of the album is the way it flows. Um, was there a lot of discussion involved in how the tracks were going to be placed?
Uh, we first we had made up stories as the first track, but then Andy wanted "We Belong" as the first single, so we changed place, track number 1 and 5.
Hmm. And when we spoke earlier, I don't remember what info you gave me, but I wanted to ask you, what is the best way to get a physical copy of the album and any merchandise that you have?
Yeah, that's a good question. I gotta talk to Birgit on the record label in Germany. I'm sure she will release merchandise and of course the album Pride and Joy music.
Great. So if someone goes to that website, they'll probably be able to attain that info.
Yeah.
And of course, lastly, I wanted to ask you, um, I wanted to give you the floor and to speak to your fans, to give them a message that you wish.
Yeah, sure. I will.
What would you like to tell your fans?
That great songwriting is the key. And never steal. Don't steal any. Too many bands are stealing riffs and hooks. That's, I mean, I don't want to do that. I don't
Right.
like it.
Sure. Well, I wanted to thank you again, my friend, for taking time to speak with me. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. I hope that we don't wait 2 years to talk again, my friend.
Yeah, me too.
You
Thank
take
you.
care, and I wish you all the best, my friend. And you're on an amazing journey. And I think great things will come your way. I truly believe it. I believed it on first listen on the first album, and I definitely believe it now because the sophomore jinx is over, my friend. So it's all climbing up now.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my friend, and you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. And you too. And you too. And thank you for all this.
Thank you, my friend, and take care.
Let's talk later.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
cheers.